Now I introduce our Training and Placement Officer, Dr. B. Veerabhadra Reddy, the Training and Placement Officer. He will address you. Okay. All of you.
My respects to the guests on the dais, elders amongst the audience, parents, my colleagues. Good afternoon to all of you. Warm greetings and congratulations to all the students who are joining our institution today. This is the only occasion where we get an opportunity to see and interact with the parents in the entire duration of 4 years. We get to see and speak to the students several times. So it's appropriate to share some of the information related to the training and placements, because it's quite obvious that any parent would like to see his son or daughter come out with some reasonable achievement in terms of career advancement. And in a nutshell, the essence of the training and placement activities has already been covered by our principal. So I shall try to be as brief as possible in the interest of the time. I shall share with you 3 points as to what we do, what we achieved, and what is the way forward. Training and placement cell works along with and with the support of all the departments in the college. As such, it's not independent or exclusive. And the training and placement committee consists of one professor in charge from each of the departments and 2 faculty coordinators. So while we design the programs at the college level, the execution will be taken care of by the department coordinators, so that there will be close association between the students and the department. We try to create awareness among all the students on what are all the career opportunities and options that are available to them, and what are all the skills that are required to pursue these career options, which may include campus placements, government jobs, higher education, here either in India or abroad. And of course, as our Raghav Reddy sir already told, entrepreneurship generally is spoken at the last, but it should be first. That's where we as a country are still continue to be called as a developing country. Job seeking is the top priority here in our culture, but job giving and invention is coming from the other part of the world. And I'm sure with the initiatives that are proactively being taken by the central government, we may also transform slowly. And we try to find out what are all the skills required for a student to get placed in campus, or to secure government job, or to appear for GRE, TOEFL or IELTS to go abroad, or even to become an entrepreneur. In consultation with the employers, HRs of the industry, our alumni. We are here since 1984-85 academic year. More than 35 batches have already been out, and they are across the width and depth of the world in every field you call. That would be government sector. We have IAS officers, IPS officers, CEOs of big companies, founders of companies, not just in India but abroad. So we consult as many people as possible. We try to find out the requirements, and then design a training program spread across 4 years, right from the first year, with a little more intensity at the second year and third year level. Because final year is like play field. You have to play the match there. The training has to be completed before that. So you will not get in practice 4 years for preparation. You will get only 3 years. And of that, first year is essential. Because in first year, all fundamental subjects are covered. Mathematics, foundation to the programming, and communication skills. Unless you understand this, you may lose interest here. If you lose interest in the first year, it's very difficult to come out of that zone and then get along in the second year and third year. Because in the second year, 4 subjects related to the branch are introduced. And first and second year form very important part of your 4-year engineering degree program. There is a chance, given the freedom that you will get in professional engineering colleges like this, compared to what you have seen in intermediate, right? If you go there at 7 a.m. and you will come back till 7 p.m., everything will be taken care of by the tutors or teachers, not just theory classes, your study hours. But here, that's not the case. Whatever the information that is to be provided will be provided by the college, and it is left to the choice and wisdom of the student to implement it. That's where some of the students may lose the track. The freedom is not utilized properly, then it will not help you. I will give you one example for this. See, generally we are at least in the top 20 colleges in terms of attracting meritorious students in the state, in the self-financing engineering colleges. So we should consider reasonably all the students are good in terms of their input quality. In the last 4 or 5 batches that passed out, of course this year and last year the intake has been increased, but prior to that the intake was in between 800 to 850. But the number of eligible students never crossed 600. It used to be around 550, 575. Number of students eligible for campus placements. So that means around 30% of the students are not even eligible for placement because they did not clear all the subjects, they have backlogs, and they did not have required CGPA. So 30% is a big number. And the reason that they may not come into this pool is this: they haven't exercised their freedom properly. And I hope none of you will fall into that category. And once you become eligible, so next you should follow all the training programs that are offered to you, either by the department or by the training and placement cell. These training programs are intended to impart practical knowledge. See, there is fundamental difference. If you have understood what our Raghav Reddy sir told, the difference between science and engineering. Engineering is application. See, if somebody teaches you by standing here about the driving, there is a steering wheel, there is a clutch, there is a gear rod, and you should operate it like this, you should apply brake and clutch, and then give you a vehicle. You all know what will happen. It's a disaster. So knowledge is what you acquire when you listen to someone or when you read some books. But knowledge not applied is not going to be useful, because in the industry, they need application. You need to do something. You need to design. You need to implement. So that's the fundamental difference between what you have studied so far and what you have to change the approach from now onwards. Whenever you are given a problem, you should think and try to find the solutions, not just one, but more than one. And out of all the solutions, you should find the best one. See, the technology is changing so much so that you need to update your skills within the next 2 to 3 years. Otherwise, you will become obsolete. So with all the training programs that we have designed, so in the last 5 years, we are able to show placement opportunities for about 80% of the eligible students. So in some years, it may be 75, 76%, and in some years, it may be even 95% also. but I am giving the average picture. And again, about 20% students haven't utilized these opportunities because they did not take these training programs seriously. And the average salary package is also increasing consistently. It was around 4 lakhs 5 years ago, and now we reached 5 lakhs. And every year, about 70 to 80 students are getting jobs worth 9 to 10 lakhs per annum. And you being computer science engineering students should not aim anything less than 10 lakhs. There may be some aspirants here who might not have got admission in IITs and NITs. Dear friends, you never need to regret about it. Now, the recruitment strategy has been completely changed. Earlier, the premium companies, high-paying companies like Microsoft, Google, Yahoo, or Amazon used to go to only select few colleges like IITs, NITs here, or Stanford, or Massachusetts, or Harvard, in other countries, because their bandwidth is limited. For them to go to one college, it requires a lot of effort, and they will convert it into money. Number of people to travel and then spend there, because they pay on hourly basis. So they choose a few colleges and go there and recruit. But now, thanks to the technology, they need not come to us physically. They can conduct entire selection process virtually by sitting at their offices or homes. That's the reason why now they are keeping these placement opportunities open wherever you are. Not just the state or country, even they are looking at different countries. Now the countries like China and Philippines, they are doing far better in terms of availing these opportunities. So it's a fact that there will be bright students even in the poorest college, even academically. Even in the low standard college, there will be some good students. Even in the best college, there will be some students who are not serious. So therefore, it's unfair to go to a few select colleges and neglect the others. That's been taken as corporate social responsibility by several industries. Not only that, they also have benefit in it. They will get diversity. They can see the people from different parts of the country, of different backgrounds, middle class, lower middle class, upper middle class, if they move away from the tier 1 cities. So therefore, you have the opportunities that are in parallel or equivalent to your friend or relative who is now studying in IITs or IIMs. Believe me, this is the fact. I am not saying that just to boost your energy or morale. This is the fact, right? And another big change that is happening, you would have seen in the last 5-6 years what technology, the impact of the technology on the way we live and the way we work. Even a coconut vendor is now making a digital transaction. And gone are the days where you need to go to the bank, stand in queue for withdrawing the cash, right? And you are ordering the food from the comforts of your home, no matter whether it is cooked inside or not. Believe me, in the next 5 years, things will change the way we cannot even imagine today. And you all need to be up to that. So that's the power of technology. And you are all in computer science and allied branches. You need to be highly practical. You should not just be good at theory and then neglect the practice. This is one of the challenges that we are facing. Programming is not just about taking some problem statements and then developing code for them. No, problem itself will be complex, and more often than not, you have to define the problem and then try to address it. And unfortunately, we have seen some trend among the students where when they sit in the labs and when they are asked to write code, they try to copy from Google or from others and then execute it in and go away, right? So by doing so, you are gaining nothing. And that's the reason why we are not satisfied yet in terms of the quality of the placements. Though quantity of placements, we are reasonably good. So in terms of quality of the placements, you all are having the potential to be in the higher brackets. So I wish you will all understand this and then utilize the time ahead properly. And my appeal to the parents, again, we see this several times when their children get jobs and are posted in places like Calcutta, Pune, Bombay, or Noida. They are declining, their wards are declining the placement offers. They all want Hyderabad or at the best Bangalore, right? See, it's a time. From the time they graduate here till the time they get married, 4 5 years, they are absolutely free. They do not have any family constraints. So therefore, allow them to go and see the world around. If they are in Hyderabad, they learn the same language, Telugu language, what they are speaking here. And if they go up north, they will pick up another language. If they go to some other country, they will pick up another language. So in my opinion, you should prefer those locations to the cities that I have mentioned just a while ago. And I also request the parents to keep monitoring their progress in terms of the training programs offered by the training and placement cell. In addition to the CGPA, you can walk into the training and placement cell. We have data. We will give you how they are performing, and with your support and then mutual cooperation, we all can achieve bigger things in the days and years to come. Thank you, and I wish all the students very best. Distinguished guests, my dear colleagues, parents, and student friends, namaste. Problem? I would like to have a quick audience poll to get some inputs. How many of you are happy with the branch that you got in? Please raise your hands. Thank you. Given a chance, how many of you would like to shift to another branch? We all know what that branch is. I'm repeating my question. Given a chance, how many of you would like to shift to another branch? No, Mohammed Anglil, please raise your hands. Right. If I count half raised hands, it's almost about 60 to 70%. And this is a dangerous trend. We are seeing in the admissions office that 9 out of 10 inquiries, because I can't say 9.2, 9.5, because persons can't be counted with fraction. I am rounding it off to the lower number. 9 out of 10 inquiries are for computer science. What could be the reason? If you think it is placements, it's not correct. I'll take the example of our own institution and give you some figures for you to analyze. This year, it is the batch passed out in 2023, a couple of months ago. Out of all the eligible students in non-CS branches, ECE, EEE, mechanical and civil, 69.8% of the eligible students secured placements. And if you consider CSC alone, it's 79.9%. It's a marginal difference. And if you see the quality of placements, you think the average salary of computer science placements is more, again, you are wrong. In all, there are 105 students who secured job offers in the bracket of 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs. Of this, 52 are from non-CS branches, almost 50%. If you go back a year, 2022 batch, 96.5% of eligible students from non-CS branches secured placement. And the number, or this figure for CS branch was 95.6. And in terms of the quality, also not much of difference. 5 to 12 or 13 lakhs package, 44 in non-CS and 66 in CS. So even if we go by this data, at least we should get 4 or 5 inquiries for non-CS branches out of 10. And if you think the other possible reason that all the jobs are being given by IT, you should understand IT is just an enabler, a catalyst. It's not an industry by itself. IT serves other major industries like civil or mechanical or electrical or electronics, or to be more explicit, construction industry or manufacturing or energy sector or hardware industry, or even it could be beyond engineering, banking, insurance, finance, healthcare. So imagine if there are no hospitals, what IT can do to add value to healthcare service. Hospital must be there to add value. And unless there is a car being manufactured here, we cannot put sensors and then write programming for it. If you don't have mobile phone or any smart device, there is no need for Android software. Unfortunately, people are misinformed. And this Misinformation Act is happening right at the school level for some reasons or the other. See, the kind of growth that is taking place in the core sector, you will be surprised to know. The government of India has allotted in the last year's budget 1.4 lakh crores for road infrastructure alone. Every day, 29 kilometers of new road is being laid or is added. In the same year, 2.5 lakh crore is being allotted for rail infrastructure, for laying new lines, for strengthening existing tracks, for electrification, and for equipping with modern electronic systems, signal systems to avoid accidents. And what you are seeing today, Vande Bharat or bullet train possibly in the near future, is the result of this. So it requires every engineer. And today, as we stand here, India's manufacturing capability stands at 447 billion US dollars. And it is expected to reach $1,500 billion by 2032. Today, we are fourth largest car manufacturers in the world. Only China, United States of America, and Japan are ahead of us. Where are the engineers? We have 1.4 lakh engineering seats in Andhra Pradesh, of which 1 lakh seats are only in computer science. And within that 40,000 and odd, all these engineering branches are being accommodated. And you see what will happen in the future. There will be a big demand. But of course, you need to add additional skills than what you study as part of your curriculum. But none of these industries, either mechanical or civil or electrical or electronics, exist in isolation. They are interdependent and interlinked. You take a mobile phone, it requires the knowledge of every engineer. You need to cool it continuously in order to dissipate the heat that is generated within the mobile phone. So there comes the role of mechanical engineer. You need to design the electronic circuit, and you need to properly insert the battery for power backup. Electrical engineer is required. Electronics engineer is required. You need to write software to run that hardware. You need an IT engineer. It's not just one person. And on the top of it, you need people with the knowledge of management or finance or economics, because you have to get those pieces at lesser cost and more efficient. So it's not even just about the engineering. And you all have to think about it. And if you think my degree alone is going to fetch me a job, whether it's computer science or any branch of engineering for that matter, again, you are wrong. Technology, what it is doing, we all have been witnessing in the last few years. I quoted the same example yesterday also. In a coconut vendor also using the mobile phone and is able to make digital transaction. Did we ever imagine this would happen? Maybe 4 years ago, 5 years ago? And in the coming years, things will change that we probably cannot even imagine today. What are those changes? I will just mention a few. There will be a shift from permanent employment to consultancy work. This employer-employee concept of permanent employment will be gone, at least to a larger extent. People will pay for the work, not for the person. When your work is required only for 1 hour or 2 hours a day, why should you be hooked up to one particular organization from 9 to 5 at the time? See, that is exactly what a doctor is doing, what an auditor is doing, or what a lawyer is doing, right? It's pay and use. Payment is for the work. So therefore, it's your skill, not it's your degree, which is going to get you money. And the things today, you may laugh at me if I quote these examples. Why do we need to purchase a car, buy a car today of 4-seater capacity or 5-seater capacity? Because my requirement is not constant. 20 days out of 30 days, I am traveling alone from my home to the college. Why do I need a car of 1500 cc capacity? It's a gross wastage. Fuel, environment damage, or whatever you call. And even my 5-seater capacity car will not be good enough for me if I have to travel to some other place with my family and friends or relatives, where I need 10-seater capacity. So my car is not solving my problem. So therefore, things will shift from ownership to subscription. There will be cars available, and you can subscribe them for a period, for a month, for a week, or for a year. And flexibility is you can use it anywhere. And so is the case with owning a house. The next generation will not be like us. We are not like our previous generation, and our next generation will not be like us. They won't be permanently in one place like Kurnool or Hyderabad. They would like to go around the world and then the sea, because the life is short. That's how the experience of life is moving from one side to the other side. So why should I buy a home at one place and stuck there? They will be available on subscription, just like your Hotstar or Netflix. You go to any country or any city, you just hire it for 1 or 2 years, or whatever the period you would like to stay there. Because it's now, for the job, you need not go to the office. Therefore, it doesn't matter whether you are working from Nandikotkur or Bangalore or some Milan in Italy. So that experience of the people will change. So with this kind of change in technology, if we still think in the old pattern, we will be knocked down. And in addition, to the branch of engineering that you are studying in, you need to acquire the skills, some new skills. Because as I said earlier, now why technology is mandatory in any field of engineering? Because you have to, extend the service, which is cheaper and faster. And gone are the days when India is considered to be a land of cheap labor. We all know that in countries like USA, goods are cheap and services are costly. But slowly, the trend is coming even in India. After a few years, it's easier to buy a car than hiring a driver. It's easier to build a house than hiring a servant or a watchman. And this will continue. And therefore, labor-intensive work to automation is the need of our, there is no other go. Yugandhar sir, నాకు బాగా తెలుసు. We met about 7-8 years ago. ఓరోకల్ దగ్గర సోషల్ సర్వీస్ యాక్టివిటీ చేశాం. Now he is doing farming. And I am sure some of you must be farmers. I also come from farmers family. I know farming as well. We know the situation in villages, right? Paying 600 or 800 or 1000 rupees for half a day is not sustainable. And now technology has to come in. Now drones have come in. And then they are being used for spraying pesticides. My dear friends, you please see the big picture. See, what's happening around you should know. Don't just listen to somebody and take decision. Today, if we take our own district, Kurnool district, we have one of the biggest solar power plants near Gani, about 30 kilometers from here. 3 more solar power plants are coming up. Already power grids are installed. Government has sanctioned. One near Pinnapuram, Panyam area, about 50 kilometers per year. One near Kunukuntla village on the top of the hills in Auk Mandal, and another near Nandipadu village in Kolimigulla. Biggest solar power plants. So where will be the people to maintain or service those, big solar plants? And there will be a huge shift from fuel-based IC engines and vehicles to the electrical vehicles. So therefore, we need to think of the batteries that can run for thousands of kilometers, not just for hundreds of kilometers. Fuel stations are going to be changed with battery charging stations. So these are all the changes that you are going to see sooner than later. And therefore, you must look at building your skill, not getting the degree. As I said earlier, you look at the big picture. The countries like Germany and Japan, they are now with more of aging population than younger population. But they have huge work to do. Opportunities are waiting there. But what you need to do? Learn a foreign language. Learn a Japanese or German, and you are more than welcome there. So therefore, please think in these lines. In the interest of time, I am cutting it short. It is not about the branch of engineering that you have chosen or going to study that will lead you to your career path, but it is your attitude and your skill which is going to matter. Thank you, and I wish you all the best.